guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, you see the title of the video, Snowfall Season 6 / the series finale aired on Wednesday. It left everybody with one of the most controversial topics, honestly, in TV history, in my opinion. Honestly, it was a very big controversial topic as to how we got to this situation, whose fault it exactly was, and it just left everybody just discussing crazy stuff on Twitter. I essentially want to get my 2 cents in on the conversation, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Based off the title of this video, I do 100% think that Cissy Saint was right in killing Teddy. I think that her and Leon made the right decisions in this finale, and honestly, I'm just going to give my explanation as to why. I'm just going to go ahead and go on a rant. I know everybody's not going to agree on what I'm going to say here, but I mean, I feel like, you know, if everybody did agree, that finale wouldn't have been as good as it was, and it wouldn't, you know, make for wonderful television. So honestly, look, I know people are going to hate on a lot of the stuff I'm saying here, because I know a lot of people are, you know, essentially going to be focused on the money aspect, but that's what makes this stuff fun. So I'm going to, you know, get everything off my chest. Please feel free in the comments to speak your piece, say everything you want to say about the situation itself, but I'm going to go ahead and get into this situation, guys. So the way I'm going to break this down is, essentially, I'm going to go over all the reasons that you guys hate Cissy Saint, and I will attest to the fact that, yes, I agree with most of those reasons, but then I'm also going to add counterpoints as to the fact of why I think she was 100% right in her sole decision to kill Teddy, because I understand that, yes, she decided too late to essentially grow morals. It was too late because Franklin was already so far gone at this point. But I mean, yeah, it did take her a while to, you know, get a hold on that and realize that, yes, her son is no longer the son that she raised anymore. He's no longer that person. It took her a very long time to realize that. And, you know, it became a little too late to have morals in this kind of game. But Sissy felt like if there was one thing that she could do right in this world, one thing left that she could do, it set her son free from all this stuff. And honestly, killing Teddy was the only way that was going to happen. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so starting with the reasons as to why everybody hates Sissy. And look, like I said, some of those reasons I do understand, but let's just get into it. I'll give my counterpoints as we go along. So first and foremost, look, I understand everybody is pissed at Sissy due to the fact that she lost Franklin $73 million. She lost out. She was essentially what was standing between him and $73 million and what people would deem to believe his freedom and peace. But I promise you that's not how it was going to go. Another reason people hate Sissy is because of the fact that essentially people are saying she switched up, in the sense of, in the beginning, she wasn't even on board with him selling drugs like what black mother would be, though. She was not on board with that. She did not want to have to deal with anything that Franklin wanted to do in the drug world. She didn't want that in her house. She kicked him out, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden she switched up, or she quote unquote switched up and decided to start helping Franklin in his, you know, quest to become powerful and things like that, and even tried to help him blow shit up. And so that's where the whole morals thing comes into play. The people are saying that she took way too long and she helped and did way too much at this point to even, you know, grow morals at this point and try to do something right. She waited too late for the moment. But in my opinion, it's never too late to do the right thing. But let's move on. And the final thing is essentially, well, there's other things that people hate Sissy for, but the main three is essentially she lost that Franklin millions, she switched up on him, quote unquote, and then essentially people are blaming her for what Franklin turned into at that, and what we're seeing at the end of the episode, him being an alcoholic junkie and just being on the streets essentially, and people are blaming Sissy for that. But I promise you, none of that is Sissy's fault. What Franklin becomes, what Franklin turns into by the end of this episode, has nothing to do with Sissy whatsoever. This is all on Franklin, and it's displayed very well throughout the episode. And I'm going to start with essentially I'm going to start with the first topic of discussion as to why people hate Sissy, as essentially her making Franklin lose out on all those millions of dollars. Look, there's so many factors that I could address, but let's start with this one. The fact that people thought Franklin was going to truly go legit and be out of this business for good. Like, look what Franklin had to do to get up to this point, or everything he had to do. He had to torture a CIA agent, slit Reed's dad's neck to even get this money, had to go to war with his family to do all of this. And it's like, he's doing all of this for money. Money was Franklin's drug all along. Like, money was literally the driving point for Franklin. And once his mother truly saw that at the point where Franklin legit said that he would choose the money over her, that's when Sissy knew, like, she just lost everything that she taught her son. She could not, there was nothing Sissy could say anymore to help Franklin out. There was nothing that she could no longer, there was nothing more that she could say to continuously help her son. It was lost at that point. He was a lost cause at that point. She knew it. So the only thing that she knew how to do, or the only thing that she knew that she could do, was show him, hold a mirror up to his face and show him what he had become. Only way to do that is by killing Reed. That was the only way she was going to be able to show him that this is what you have truly become, and at this point it has to stop. And you are the only person that can stop it. And honestly, where that truly spoke volumes to me is in the jail cell scene. Now, I'll fully say this. The episode 9, before we get to the finale, I was just as pissed as everybody else was at Sissy. I thought that she had truly messed up. I thought that she had truly ruined Franklin's life ruins Franklin's chance at a happy life, at a safe life, at a life where he wasn't going to have to worry about anything. He would have been with V and his kid and things like that, and he would have had a happy ending. I thought the same thing. But once this finale plays out, I understand Sissy's point completely, because you see what this sort of thing, what this drove Franklin to, what money drove Franklin to do. He became a cold-blooded killer. And honestly, there's a whole lot of factors I'm going to keep talking about, but let's just stay at this point here. Let's just stay in the jail cell. Remember, the two scenes in the jail cell, you have to remember what Franklin is doing and be honest. And let's keep in mind that Sissy said nothing the entire time. Sissy had nothing to say to him. The first time Franklin comes into the jail cell, he's trying to get her to essentially deem that she's crazy and still keep this lie going. And she needs him to understand that, look, we have all done something wrong here. Like, we need to face our consequences. We need to just take it on the chin and realize that what we did was wrong. And people are going to be pissed because, like I said, they don't expect, her to grow. They're hating the fact that she is trying to grow a moral conscience, at a late point in, all of this happening. And honestly, like I said, while I do understand that point, while, like I said, I don't, I'm not necessarily mad at her for growing a moral conscience, because, like I said, it's never too late to do the right thing. And from a mother's perspective, she had to do what she had to do to save Franklin. She saw Franklin was so far gone with this money. She needed to do what she could do to save her son. Whether or not, and honestly, that's the thing with a lot of parents, man. They do things for us that we feel like at the time they're not really doing it for us. They're doing it for their own selfish intentions and selfish reasons. And a lot of people thought that she killed Teddy just to get back for Alton. But at the end of the, and while, yes, I could say that was definitely one of her reasons, that was not her only reason into killing Teddy. She did that for Franklin 100%. I feel like she did that for Franklin a lot more than she did for just herself to kill Alton. And it shows in the second time Franklin goes to visit her, where she's literally holding up a mirror to him, not saying a damn thing, letting Franklin just spew out all his bullshit, and so he can finally realize how far this has gotten and that it needs to stop. But he doesn't. Franklin never knew how to stop himself. Power and greed kept him going. The second time he's in the jail cell, he's literally telling her, V left me. Everything's going to shit. I need help. I need you to sell the house to me. I need money. I need this. I need that. I need you to figure out, you're going to be stuck in here. You're fucked. I need you to help me out, though. And then he completely turned on her and just cussed her out. And people are praising that moment for, Franklin getting that off his chest, calling his mother a B and all this stuff. But let me explain something to you guys. Sissy stood with this kid through thick and thin throughout the entire series. I mean, this kid, Sissy, like I said, any black mother would have kicked their son out if they found out they were selling drugs. But the moment Franklin got arrested, her motherly instincts kicked right in, and she was torn apart. She was torn apart the entire time he was in jail. She was torn apart the entire time he was shot. She stood by his side when he was trying to burn all the shit to the ground. And even in previous wars, she stood by her family and, more importantly, her son's side. She never left Franklin's side, no matter what. Even though she was not in 100% agreement with this, she never left Franklin's side in the first place. So that should tell you that this woman truly had good intentions for her son. Whether or not we could view it as that, a lot of people are seeing that as her getting in the way of the money. But the money was killing Franklin way more than anything else in this world would have. Like, the money was destroying Franklin. And like I said, let's be honest, guys. For those who saying Franklin was finally going to go legit, Franklin was going to be able to get away, have his peace with all that money, this dude was robbing the CIA at that point, man. This dude literally was blackmailing the CIA into giving him 72 million. It was only 37 because that's what Reed had offered to split. But this Franklin was getting back $73 million from the government. A black man in the 80s was trying to blackmail the government into giving him back $73 million that he got illegally. Do you truly think you would have led a life of peace after that? Do you truly think that Franklin would have been okay? He would have lived a happy life after that moment with Reed alive and the CIA still living and breathing? No! Franklin would not have lived a peaceful life at all. That would not have been the case. It would have honestly just been a lot worse. And honestly, what these shows try to portray to you is anytime you try to get out of this game, it's an impossible feat. You're not going to be able to get out because there's something in this game holding you to it. Like in Power, Ghost just couldn't get out of his own way at that point. His son was getting caught up. Everybody was just, essentially wanting what Ghost had, but Ghost couldn't realize that you can't get away from this life. You brought too many people into it already, and honestly, Snowfall just shows the same fate, but in a much different light, in a much better light, in my opinion, the more realistic one, where you have to live with your consequences rather than just die and let your son take over the business after that point, like in Power. But look, however you want to put it, Franklin was not living a peaceful life after, no matter if he got the money or not. Franklin was not going to live a peaceful life after that situation at all, because like I said, if Franklin would have got the money, things would have just got a whole lot worse. Like you literally see what losing everything turns Franklin into, and you see how quickly he's ready to turn on everyone for money. Like literally he's ready to turn on Leon, and even Leon is honestly what woke my eyes up to actually realizing what Sissy was doing this entire time, is holding up a mirror to Franklin to show him who he is. Franklin had asked Leon for $3 million. Leon could have people are saying Leon could have gave him one, could have gave him $500K, could have gave him this, could have gave him that, been on his way. The thing was, Franklin would have been back for more. That wouldn't have been the end of the loan. Like Franklin at some point had to realize you have got to stop with this money hungry obsession. People are saying, some people are saying it wasn't greed that was getting at Franklin, but in my opinion, yeah, greed had killed Franklin at this point, man. Like it even got to the point where honestly, Franklin had just become bloodthirsty at this point, because it even shows when he finds Peaches. This dude literally was so desperate he had to go dig up Peaches, a guy that I honestly completely forgot about until this finale. He wants to go find Peaches, digs him up, and realizes that, oh, this dude ain't got nothing. This dude wasted. You robbed me of $5 million. You got $12K left. What the fuck is $12K gonna do for me? That's why he ended up. Well, he killed Peaches because Peaches was gonna kill him. Killed Overbrook. Didn't want him to find out. Didn't need him being nosy in his business. He even killed Miguel. He killed Miguel for what? I honestly thought Miguel was honestly gonna, just take the $12K, go on about his day. Wouldn't have did nothing to Franklin. I truly believe he was not gonna snitch on Franklin, but Franklin had just been so paranoid in his head he couldn't trust anybody anymore. That's literally where the money had gotten to him, where he became strictly bloodthirsty. And honestly, it was time for Franklin to realize that this is all on you. And honestly, that's where I believe his decision to live like the way he's living in the end, just an alcoholic junkie, a representation of his father, I believe that decision is solely on him, because we know Franklin Saint, who Franklin Saint is. We know Franklin is very collective, a very thought-provoking person. He's a person who essentially thinks out his next 5 steps. He's very calculated. We know Franklin can make moves to make millions of dollars. He made $73 million illegally. I know this dude can make one legally. Like, I know for a fact Franklin could do that. But his decision to live the way he was living is solely on him. He's doing that because he feels like this is the only way he can be free. He's lived at the top. He's lived at the very top, and he's seen what it's like to be controlled, and he's seen what it's like where people are having all their hands in stuff that you are trying to build for yourself. He sees what that's like, and then he's been at the bottom. He's been at the top, he's been at the bottom, and it's like the only way he feels like he can be free is doing things his way, having no chains on him, is just being out and being a junkie, being a representation of his dad. I mean, it's a very sad, tragic truth, but it's one that Sissy definitely needed him to learn, and it's one that we hope Franklin can bounce back from. I mean, there's not going to be anything showing us that afterwards, but honestly, as far as the ending of this series, this is one of the most realistic, most powerful endings I've seen in a TV show in a very long time, man. I mean, granted, I haven't seen the end of Breaking Bad yet. I'm in the middle of that, so if that has a much better realistic ending than this one, I'll let you know when I get to it. But As far as like a very powerful ending, Snowfall killed it. Snowfall absolutely did an incredible job at ending this series in a way that made us all realize like what money can truly turn you into. And honestly, it shows just like there are other portrayals as far as like, you know, who to trust and, you know, selfish reasonings and things like that. But at the end of the day, like me strictly speaking on Sissy's behalf, I think she was 100% right in her in what she did to kill Teddy. I think she needed to do that to hold up a mirror to him. I think that was the only way she was going to get him to actually see the monster that he's become. And a lot of people are just going to argue it's too late for that. And like I said, I personally don't think it's ever too late to show you what kind of monster you've become. If you, and honestly, like think about it from a mother's perspective. If there's one thing you can still do as a mother to save your son, wouldn't you do that? That's what I'm saying. Like Cissy Saint did what she had to do. And honestly, like I said, Leon not giving him the money, and even at the Leon not giving him the money and the ending of the episode where Franklin is still calling him a great friend proves to me that I know for a fact that, you know, Leon and Sissy did right by Franklin. Franklin is not blaming Leon for anything. Granted, Franklin was blaming everybody but himself for, you know, him losing everything and him going down this path and some things like that, when Franklin could have been stopped. Franklin couldn't, though. Franklin could never get a grip on it, because as the bigger he got, the more chaotic everything got, and the more just power hungry he got, the more bloodthirsty Franklin became. They needed to put a cap on it somehow, some way. Sissy saw the only way to do that was by killing this dude. And honestly, it speaks to the moment as to her killing him right before he got the passwords. It was right there. Only had to wait like 5 more seconds, maybe not even that. Franklin was 5 seconds from getting his money all the way back, and Sissy had did that just to save his life. And while, you know, people may not agree with me, I truly believe that Cissy Saint was a real hero in this series. I'm not gonna lie to you. She was a real hero in this series. It was so tragic to see Franklin go down this road, but kudos to Damson Idris, because the acting that he did in this final episode was some of the best acting I've seen this dude pull off in the entire series. And that's saying something, because the dude's acting his ass off from legit season 1 to now. The dude's been doing an incredible job, but truly watching him in this episode, especially the last 13 minutes. The last 13 minutes of the episode where he's just or however long that scene is, with him just walking with Leon through the projects and things like that, and we end up going to the liquor store that he used to work at. That entire scene itself is just is Emmy worthy. Just whatever award he can win for that scene itself, he deserves that and so much more. Look, Snowfall Season 6 overall, guys, was an incredible ending to an amazing series, one that I enjoyed a lot. It was honestly a very stronger ending than I was anticipating. It was one that truly left me shocked, baffled, one that truly just honestly, and one that truly left everybody just, you know, in different spaces and different different places, just thinking about, you know, essentially, you know, leaving us scarred from what we essentially saw. This is not the ending we were anticipating, but it's the one that I feel like we definitely needed in a series like this, because we need more realistic endings. And that's what John Singleton, of course, was about. He was about those real endings. He wasn't about the fairy tale Hollywood BS, you know, trying to put a mask over, you know, what happens in this real world. No, he was about the real endings. And I have to tip my hat off to the entire cast and crew of this thing for delivering a very powerful ending and just delivering it in general, an amazing series, guys. I love Snowfall. It was an incredible show to watch. Damson Idris, I can't wait to see what you do in the future. That's all I got, man. That's my rant. That's my big, you know, why Cissy Saint was right. But please, guys, in the comments below, let me know why you thought Sissy was wrong, why you hate Sissy, blah, blah, blah. I know it's a lot of you out there, so let's get the discussion started. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more, guys. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.